American artists reportedly stunned by BTS' latest photos. Why is Jungkook being called an impossible standard for Western pop? Is it really just a set of casual behind-the-scenes photos? Or is the global music industry witnessing a silent shift in power that no one wants to name out loud yet? Why are American musicians, producers, and pop insiders suddenly whispering about visual intimidation after a single viral collage of BTS rap line? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, why does the name Jungkook dominate the conversation even though he never appears at the center of the frame? Seoul, December 13th, 2025. What began as a seemingly harmless fan post on X has now erupted into a cross-continental debate about standards, influence, and the unspoken anxiety rippling through Western pop culture. The post, uploaded by the fanbase account at Tisovers under the understated caption, "Thank you BTS rap line," did not come with a teaser trailer, a press release, or a comeback announcement. It did not need one. Within hours, it became something else entirely, a mirror held up to the global music industry, forcing artists and executives alike to confront a question they have avoided for years. Has the benchmark for a global pop star shifted so far that American pop is now chasing, not leading? The collage featured candid moments of BTS' legendary rap line, RM, Suga, and J-Hope, relaxed yet razor-sharp in a studio or practice space that felt intimate, lived in, and unmistakably authentic. Oversized hoodies, thick jackets, baseball caps pulled low, soft lighting bouncing off wooden floors, a sense of creative quiet that spoke louder than any stage pyrotechnics. And then there was V, slipped playfully into the lineup like an inside joke only ARMY could fully decode, instantly igniting memes, laughter, and speculation across timelines worldwide. But behind the humor and nostalgia, something heavier was brewing. By the end of the first 24 hours, the post had surpassed 82,000 likes, 24,000 reposts, and nearly 500,000 views. The numbers told one story. The reactions told another. Underneath the jokes about Cypher PT5 with V and the affectionate teasing of Taehyung joining Rapline, there was a deeper, almost reverent tone. Fans were not just celebrating photos. They were reacting to presence, to aura, to a kind of charisma that does not beg for attention but commands it, and somewhere across the Pacific, according to multiple industry observers and anonymous insiders, American artists noticed, quietly at first, then with visible discomfort, several US-based musicians, producers, and creative directors, speaking off the record to entertainment insiders, reportedly described the images with a phrase that has since spread like wildfire in fan circles: visually intimidating. Not because the photos were aggressive or flashy, but precisely because they were not. The relaxed confidence, the absence of performative posing, the sense that these artists did not need to prove anything anymore, struck a nerve. In an industry obsessed with constant reinvention and visibility, BTS appeared unbothered, grounded, and effortlessly dominant. This is where the narrative takes a turn that few expected. Because as discussions unfolded among Western pop circles, one name kept resurfacing with almost uncomfortable frequency: Jungkook. He was not in the collage's main frame. He was not tagged. He was not posing in a hoodie or leaning into a mirror selfie. And yet, his shadow loomed large over every conversation. Why? Industry commentators began to speculate that Jungkook's absence was precisely what amplified his presence. Even without appearing, his reputation as BTS' golden standard seemed to frame the entire moment. To many American observers, Jungkook has come to represent an almost unattainable ideal: flawless live vocals, elite dance precision, emotional range, mainstream appeal, and global relatability wrapped into one artist who still feels authentic rather than manufactured. One US producer reportedly summed it up in a private conversation that later circulated among insiders. If this is BTS relaxed, then Jungkook at full power is terrifying. How are we supposed to compete with that? Is this exaggeration born from fan culture? Or is it an honest reflection of an industry recalibrating its expectations? For years, Western pop has defined its standards around singular strengths: a great singer who may not dance, a compelling performer who relies heavily on production, a viral personality who dominates charts through branding rather than craft. BTS and Jungkook in particular disrupt that compartmentalization. They embody a model where versatility is not a bonus, but a baseline. The rap-line photos crystallize this reality in an unexpected way. RM's thoughtful gaze, Suga's quiet intensity, J-Hope's infectious warmth, all coexisting in a single frame without competing for dominance. Each member secure in his identity, each contributing to a collective image that feels complete even in stillness. For American artists raised in a culture of individual spotlight, this unity reads as both inspiring and threatening. Fans, of course, sense this tension immediately. ARMY timelines filled with speculative questions framed as jokes, but heavy with implication. Are Western pop stars finally realizing that K-pop visuals are not just about looks, but about narrative cohesion? Has the definition of effortless cool changed forever? And most provocatively, has Jungkook become the unspoken measuring stick against which every new male pop artist is judged, whether they like it or not? The idea that a single artist could influence industry-wide standards without even appearing in a viral image speaks volumes about the current cultural moment. Jungkook's global reputation has grown beyond individual releases or performances. It has become symbolic. He represents a generation of idols trained not to specialize narrowly, but to excel holistically. When American artists see BTS rapline looking unbothered, creative, and grounded, they do not just see RM, Suga, and J-Hope. They see the ecosystem that produced Jungkook, and that ecosystem feels increasingly out of reach. The photos themselves offer subtle clues as to why. There is no excessive styling, no luxury branding screaming for attention. Instead, there is comfort, familiarity, a sense of artists in their natural habitat. This authenticity contrasts sharply with the hyper-curated visuals dominating Western pop marketing in recent years. In BTS world, charisma seems to come from confidence rather than polish. This difference has not gone unnoticed by American fans either. Comment sections under reposts of the collage filled with remarks from US-based listeners expressing admiration tinged with frustration. Why do they look like they're not even trying? One comment read, "This is what real star power looks like," another replied. Some went further, questioning whether Western labels are equipping their artists to compete in a global market that now demands more than catchy hooks. The ripple effect extended beyond fans and artists into media analysis. Entertainment commentators began framing the viral moment as evidence of a broader shift in pop dominance. The question was no longer whether K-pop could compete globally, but whether Western pop was prepared to evolve in response. The speculation intensified when fans connected the timing of the post to ongoing whispers about BTS' post-military future. Could these behind-the-scenes glimpses be subtle signals? A reminder that even during hiatus, BTS remains culturally central, or perhaps a strategic recalibration, allowing the group's aura to speak for itself without overt promotion. The inclusion of V added another layer to the intrigue. His playful joining of rap lines sparked laughter, but it also reinforced a truth longtime fans understand well. BTS creative boundaries are fluid, roles are flexible, experimentation is encouraged. This adaptability stands in stark contrast to Western pop's often rigid branding structures. As the days passed, the post continued to accumulate engagement, and the discourse evolved. What started as fan euphoria transformed into an industry-wide conversation about intimidation, standards, and the future of global pop aesthetics. Jungkook's name remained central, invoked as both aspiration and obstacle. Is it fair to label one artist as too high a standard? Or does that label reveal more about the insecurities of those who feel overshadowed? Perhaps the most telling detail is that none of this required a comeback announcement. No teaser images, no press conference, just a fan expressing gratitude and a world reacting. In that sense, the viral rapline photos did more than trend. They exposed a truth many had sensed but few articulated. BTS no longer needs to assert dominance. Their existence alone reshapes expectations. And Jungkook, whether visible or not, embodies the pinnacle of that shift, As 2025 draws to a close and speculation about 2026 intensifies, one question lingers with increasing urgency. If relaxed BTS can unsettle Western pop, what happens when they return in full force? And when Jungkook steps back into the global spotlight, will the industry be ready, or will it once again find itself chasing a standard it helped create but can no longer control? For now, the photos remain online, quietly accumulating likes, reposts, and unease. A reminder that in the modern music landscape, power does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes, it simply shows up in a hoodie, smiles at the camera, and lets the world argue about what it means. The silence from official Western pop institutions following the viral spread of those images has been just as loud as the reactions themselves. No statements were released. No think pieces from major labels were immediately published. No congratulatory posts appeared from American peers who once freely exchanged public praise with BTS. And yet, behind the scenes, conversations reportedly intensified. Executives asked questions that would have sounded unthinkable a decade ago. Do visuals still sell if they feel forced? Can authenticity be manufactured? And most crucially, has the audience already decided that the benchmark has moved beyond what Western pop traditionally offers? What unsettled many observers was not the scale of engagement, but its quality. The responses were not fueled by shock value or controversy. They were driven by longing. Fans were not screaming for novelty. They were responding to familiarity, to a sense of connection that felt earned rather than engineered. The Rapline photos did not introduce something new. They reminded the world of something it had missed. And that reminder carried emotional weight far heavier than any flashy rollout. This emotional gravity is where the conversation inevitably circles back to Jungkook, even in absence. In global pop discourse, he has become shorthand for a certain completeness that challenges existing frameworks. Western pop has long celebrated specialization: the best vocalist, the best dancer, the most charismatic frontman. Jungkook quietly disrupts this logic by embodying all three without presenting himself as untouchable. He performs excellence while maintaining approachability, a balance that is notoriously difficult to sustain. American artists observing this phenomenon are not simply reacting to competition. They are reacting to contrast. The contrast between a system that emphasizes constant reinvention and one that prioritizes long-term growth. Between branding that shifts with algorithms and identity that deepens with time. BTS Rapline, relaxed and unguarded in those images, symbolized the payoff of patience. Jungkook's looming reputation symbolized its ultimate reward. Fans sensed this subtext immediately. Social media threads evolved from celebratory memes into reflective discussions. Some questioned whether American pop culture has underestimated the audience's capacity for depth. Others wondered aloud if the industry's obsession with youth and virality has cost it something essential. Why did a quiet studio photo feel more powerful than million-dollar music videos? Why did absence speak louder than presence? The answer may lie in narrative continuity. BTS' story did not reset with trends. It unfolded. Each era added context rather than replacing what came before. The Rapline photos felt heavy because they carried 12 years of history in a single glance. Jungkook's name surfaced because his journey embodies that continuity most visibly. From teenage trainee to global benchmark, his evolution has been witnessed, not assumed. Western pop stars, by contrast, often face abrupt reinventions dictated by market shifts. Personas are discarded. Sounds are abandoned. Visual identities are overhauled overnight. In that environment, seeing artists who remain recognizable, grounded, and respected over time can feel destabilizing. It raises uncomfortable questions about sustainability, about legacy, about whether the race for relevance has been mistaken for progress. As speculation about BTS' future grows louder, the industry's unease deepens. Are these images a quiet prelude to a comeback? A reminder of creative readiness? Or simply a gift to fans starved of connection during hiatus? The ambiguity itself is powerful. It keeps attention without demanding it. It invites interpretation without explanation, Media analysts have begun framing this moment as a cultural checkpoint rather than a viral blip. They note how American pop narratives increasingly reference K-pop standards when discussing training, performance quality, and fan engagement. Jungkook's name appears in these analyses not as a rival, but as a reference point, the bar by which excellence is measured. This shift has implications beyond charts and awards. It touches on how artists are developed, how longevity is valued, and how audiences are respected. If fans respond more strongly to authenticity than spectacle, then the industry must reconsider its priorities. BTS rap line photos did not scream ambition. They whispered confidence. And that whisper echoed louder than expected.